talk about like spiritual work and we talk about personal development work, like if we really break it down, what is it? It's we are getting to know ourselves. Like that's really all it is like the most irritating thing to me about Tinkerbell was like this little fairy complained all the time that nobody loved her and she just like wanted to get her way. But like all she had to do the entire time was like turn around and realize that she had wings and she could have flown away at any moment. And she just didn't because she was so focused on like getting people to love her. And like all she had to do was look in the mirror and be like, I actually can leave at any time. And I think personal development work, spiritual work, dark night of the soul, like whatever the F you want to call it, it's truly just how do I wake up and remember that I have wings? How do I know myself deeper? Because like when you truly know yourself, you win. And so for me, it's been this like, I mean, I would say it's probably been since I was in my teenage years, but I'm a 6'2" in human design. I don't know if you're into human design at all, but
I love it, but I don't know enough about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a 6'2", which basically means like the first 30 years of my life were like, they call it the trial and error phase, but I called it like pure fucking chaos. Like it was just every experience. I was married. I was divorced. I had a baby. I broke up with my son's dad. I moved to London. I moved back from London. I moved to San Diego. I moved back from San Diego. I had 3 different careers. I was in television. I was an actress. I was a professional dancer. Then I was a fitness instructor. Like as many things as I could experience, I did. And ultimately all that did was get me closer to like really who I am. So when we talk about like flow and like, how do we just like go with the flow? I actually think I stopped going with the flow. Like I actually think, because I used to just say yes to anything because my worth was so hung on outside validation and praise that I would just go with the flow and like do whatever. And really what this work has done is it actually is like, I stopped going with the flow. Like now, like I know exactly who I am. I know exactly where I'm going. I am only available for mutually beneficial energy. And if it's not a full body yes, it's a no. So if that's the life context, then actually like, yes, surrender. And you actually stop going with the flow, because going with the flow kept me in people pleasing mode. It kept me in like outside validation mode. So I'm actually not interested in going with the flow anymore. Like unless the flow is a full body yes.
Wow. I mean, I feel like you're just channeling and speaking this directly to me, especially even with that Tinkerbell analogy. Like my eyes like are just like, oh my goodness, are you talking about Tinkerbell? Because all I can think of when you say that is I grew up doing beauty pageants. I was the little JonBenet Ramsey. And my mom and my grandma said to me that I was walking through the mall one day and I saw a beauty pageant like in the middle of a mall type of thing. And I looked up and I go, I want to do that. I want to be the queen. And I guess I was like 2 or 3. So I don't actually remember this, but that became my childhood. I did that nonstop and I loved it. Like, yes, I think they loved it, but then I loved it. And it built this whole sense of like outside validation for me that I'm like literally still trying to break. I had an epiphany and I just did a post about it online. It's like outside validation is a fucking bitch. Like it has ruled my life and I'm 41. I'm just like, what? Why am I still seeking this? But during those pageant stages, they would ask you, you know, a 5-year-old, what do you want to be when you grow up? And, you know, they're cute little moments. And I used to say, I want to be Tinkerbell. And all I could ever talk about was I wanted to be Tinkerbell. Even going to Disneyland, I grew up in San Diego. I lived in LA, so I know those places very well where you're going from.
Yeah, we paid rent. We paid rent at Disneyland growing up.
Seriously. And you know how like Tinkerbell flies from the top of the Matterhorn down and starts the fireworks show? Like I wanted to be that. I went to school in LA and I looked up how can I be a princess at Disneyland because I was 5'2" and I'm the right height. So the whole Tinkerbell thing is fascinating. Like that is the epitome of my life. And I've just finally found my wings at 40 years old. It took 40 years to find it. Why does it take so long for us to find those wings? Like, what is it about this matrix and this norm that we find ourselves so caught up in? And I did it from a very early age.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's it. It's like I think what takes people so long and why it takes people so long is because we're conditioned to think we need to find something that we don't already have. And remember, the whole thing about Tinkerbell was she had it the whole time. It's not finding it. It's like you don't have to become worthy. Like you're born worthy simply because you breathe. And we live in a society that conditions us to feel like it's something we have to chase. It's something we have to earn. We have to find. We have to become. And like, what if we actually don't need to become anything? What if we actually don't need to find anything? It's more that we need to remember. We need to wake up and we need to remember that we had it the whole time.